Hi, Curtis.
Do you think that Jeremy Swayman and Marchand got along well after the holdout last year?
Yeah, I don't think that there was any problem between the two.
Marchand didn't have a problem with Swayman not practicing in camp?
Oh, if you're asking me, do I think that he should have held out?
No, I'm not asking you. I'm saying, do you think that bothered the captain of the team, that Swayman was being so ruthless as a negotiator?
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with his agent. Ultimately the player has control, over the agent because the agent works for the player. That's not a conversation that I necessarily had with a guy like Brad Marchand. But I think in the big picture, Jeremy Swayman, I think, would have preferred to be in camp on time, get it signed, get it all set. Because, as Donnie Sweeney had mentioned, if we're going back to last year again, that there is just no replacement for reps when it comes to training camp and getting yourself started for a season. There is just no replacement for that, and I think it took him time to basically catch up. So I don't think it was anything necessarily that Brad Marchand had talked about with respect to a guy like Jeremy Swayman. I think for everybody, if you're involved with the team, you want to put the team in the best possible position in order to succeed as soon as the season starts.
Do you look at it as being a unique thing? Because I think it might have bothered Swayman more because you have another player who's talking about a guy in a current contract dispute. Like, I was always taught in the locker room, we never mind that man's money. You know what I mean? Do you think it bothered Swayman a little bit that Marchand just chimed in and said, he needs to get this thing done?
Well, I never heard Marchand talk about that directly.
Well, he basically said we don't do things like when talking about a holdout. He said it's not the way we do things around here. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. Yeah. So, but maybe it was honestly, maybe I'm misreading what Charlie McAvoy was talking about. Maybe he was talking about they needed to get Charlie Coyle out of here. He was a real problem.
That could have been it.
maybe that's why the chemistry's better.
I just think that there were so many different factors that were going on.
Yeah.
You had, remember Jim Montgomery was up for a contract last year. He was extended an offer to stay on. That never got settled. Brad Marchand was up for a contract offer. The team, obviously this is, longstanding stuff that the team had put out an offer. They wanted him to stay. They couldn't get that deal done. Then you had the Jeremy Swayman contract negotiation. That was an issue, and then also mix in, once the season started, Hampus Lindholm was gone 17 games in. And I think the general manager, Don Sweeney, would tell you, had I known that he was going to miss the entire season, I would have tried and gotten out and gotten some help because this team was still very much in the mix right around Christmas time.